Alright guys, so last we're just going to show you how to do simple dimension drawings. These are a really good idea. If you're actually working for a company and you want to have your parts made, you almost always have to do this. Your guys in machine shop are not going to have a laptop with SolidWorks open just to check your dimensions while they're working. So you need to get it in a form that they can read quickly while they're actually building this stuff. So the way to do that is just have the part open that you want to make a drawing of in SOLIDWORKS, and then go to File, New, and create a drawing. You can pick from a bunch of standard sizes up here, or you can go to Browse, and then you have everything that SOLIDWORKS has, drawing size wise. For this one, I'm just going to pick a landscape. That's a pretty common one, and say OK. Now, what you'll notice here is you've got kind of an outline of what the drawing is going to look like. Definitely a kind of parts list space, a little bit of namespace, and you've also got this model view menu open over here with the part we had open in SOLIDWORKS in this list. So we're just going to double click on that, and we can drag it out onto the surface of this drawing, and you see an outline. That's where the part's actually going to go. So we can click that just anywhere in the middle here, and notice it shows, in this case, a top view of the part inside our drawing. You'll also notice that if you click over to the left, up, down, right, isometric, whatever, it'll show projected views based off of that drawing. So you generally just build up whatever you want your final drawing to look like based off of these projected views. That keeps dimensions between, say, this top line and this line consistent, and it lets you cut down on the number of dimensions you actually have to throw on. So let's say you didn't quite get this right the first time and you want to actually add another model view. You can do that just by deleting all this stuff, going to View Layout, and inserting a model view here. So I'm going to put my top view here, do a side view, and that view is not particularly useful, so I'm just going to do an isometric view here, and I think that's enough to dimension this part. Also, you can see you've got display style options up here. So I'm going to go back in and actually change it so I can see the hidden lines, just so I know that this hole does actually go through all the way through the part there. And you also notice that I can drag these around, but it always keeps the dimensions constant. Lines that are supposed to be the same are kept that way. And then the isometric can kind of go anywhere. But all that's really left to do on this is add some dimensions, and you do that with Smart Dimension just like you would in a sketch when you're creating a part. So I've clicked Smart Dimension up here, and then I can just click this face, and oh, that's 4 inches. You notice I don't have to type in any numbers. It's already got that since you're building this off of the part file. So I say that one's 3. I can say that edge, it's an inch off there, inch off there, there to there's inch and a half, there to there's 0.5. Now, since I've done this 0.5, I wouldn't want to do there, well, not the angle, but I would not want to do there to there, because I'm already showing it down here. So really all I need on this one is some of this stuff, and maybe go ahead and give a few of these. But that's one thing you just have to think about. You have one dimension covering each section of your sketch. I've still missed a few on here, but it's something you just have to be very careful about getting everything you want on there. So that's pretty close. Let's say you're finished with the dimensions and you just want to add your name onto this. So you can either just click the Note button up here under Annotation and just start typing. Or you can right-click onto this, say Edit Sheet Format, and actually go into these boxes and say, okay, well, I want this to be your name. And that's great. You'll notice that all of my drawing stuff's gone. It's not deleted. Don't worry about it. Just click this button right here, and you're back. Also, on most of our drawings, we've shown that the isometric view is actually filled in, so just go back here on Display Style and change that back. If you want to change the scale of any of these drawings, you just go down here to scale and usually just use custom. Right now we're at 1 to 2. Let's say I wanted to be 1 to 5. Now it's really small. 2 to 1, it's gigantic. So we'll go back to 1 to 2. That's great. One more thing. Let's say that this isometric view isn't the actual isometric view you wanted. That can happen if you set up your planes just slightly differently than somebody else who did this. And it's kind of frustrating to deal with. You can't just use the default isometric. The easiest way to do that is just delete this view and insert another model view of that part, just an isometric, and only that. So we'll click OK. Position this a little bit how we want it. Go ahead and change the display state again. But now, since we've got just this one view in this section, we can come up here and click this 3D drawing view button. And what that does, once we click it, it'll let us actually rotate this section and say we wanted our isometric to actually be like this. We can do that. We'll click the check, and now it'll actually stay like that. So I think that's all you guys need to do your homework. There's a README file on D2L right now that gives a full assignment and everything, and definitely download all the parts you need for the assembly. The drawing is off of one of your earlier homeworks, so you guys should already have those files. If not, they're pretty quick to recreate. And other than that, I think that's all I've got.